I'm trying to be more consistent. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Eugenia. I am a jewelry designer and a fashion designer and a maker and an artist and all of the above in between, and welcome to my wild world. I've been really loving soldering lately, and whenever I like something, I go all in. So I just discovered floral foam method, and I have a video on my channel. I'll link it up here. But today we're also going to be using floral foam to solder, and if you're new here, you will love this. Is going to be like your best friend. I'm also going to be using glass grinder. Let me show you. I just got myself a glass grinder, and this is also my other new friend. We're gonna be grinding this piece down a little bit because it's a porcelain that I got, but it's an odd shape, so I'm trying to make some sense out of this. So we're going to use that in one of our pieces, but we're also going to be using a foam block to lay our pieces to make beautiful jewelry. So continue watching and you'll be hooked, I promise. I'm going to quickly grind my this piece. I'm going to wear my glasses to make sure it's not dangerous. Okay, so this is what I have right now. This is not a perfect shape, but this is better than it was. So and I do like when pieces are, if you guys know me, I like when stuff is organic and not perfect, so this works. Okay, so I have this that I've been playing with, and I really like this idea. So we're probably going to be making something like that. But I also want to incorporate this guy right here that we just smoothed out. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to play around with it to see what composition I like. We might just cover it with some thin chain and make it very dainty and call it a day. So for the sake of experiment, and I like the look of it a lot, usually I go with something chunkier, but this doesn't look as expensive as this dainty little crystal chain. So I'm going to be working with some metal, and I'll be able to solder without copper, which is amazing, and I'll show you guys in a minute. But so let's first assemble this piece because it's really like been on my mind, and I already started soldering, and all I did, I'll show you the way I attached those rhinestones. You see there's a little indentation, so basically I just laid the heart and then other rhinestones, and I joined them together. And there's a video of my channel that I basically for the first time discovering this and showing you, and since then I'm a fan. This is my technique now moving forward, and I highly suggest you guys getting this floral foam as well, because it's just so easy and makes our life so much easier, and you can do so many beautiful variations and compositions. Royal, European, that's kind of the vibes that I'm going for. So I'm going to use the same spot and lay this heart right here. I'm going to add this piece right here. That's going to be something that I will be adding in a minute. But before we do that, I'm going to first solder rhinestones onto this. So let me do that first. So the way you do it, you press the piece into the foam to make sure everything's going to be leveled. The back of your piece would be leveled that way. And then I'm going to add my 3 rhinestones. It's so easy, as I mentioned to you, as you can see. It's very easy and so user-friendly, this method. I'm just so happy that I discovered it. We're gonna turn on our iron. We're gonna have our soldering iron turned on at 800 Fahrenheit. That works for me. It's very flowy. The solder is really runny. I like it when it's like that. It takes way less time to work with it when it's super liquid. Then I'm gonna be using my favorite lead-free solder. I have a link of that down below. I'm also going to be using Flux and synthetic brush. I'm considering getting a smaller brush because this is a little too big for the pieces sometimes, and it can shift some parts around, and I don't want it to do that. And this is the Flux that I'm using. It's a liquid Flux for stained glass. It's my favorite. I highly recommend that. Okay, so Here's a situation, guys, where metal on metal doesn't work. Some types of metal are great and you're easily stuck together. This one is not. I can tell that this is, you see how it's coming apart? So meanwhile these are fully joined, they're fine, but this is not good. So what I'm going to do to fix it, it's not ideal, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to add copper tape. So in my other video I mentioned that some of the metals are so beautiful and so easy, and you won't need copper tape, but sometimes you do. So this is the case where we do need copper tape. Look at these crystals, they're fully joined and you don't need anything, but sometimes you do. You see how easy it flows now? Let me just explain to you. So basically, what I'm doing, I'm covering each rhinestone, the back of each rhinestone, so it's one big solidified blob of solder at the back. It's gonna create better bond, and also it's gonna look like more professional. And because it's metal, it does take time to cool off. I was trying to cover the rest of the copper tape, but because it was heating up so much, it was moving these boys around. So wait till they get hardened like this, and then you can turn it around and work on these sides. This bit, we need to use copper tape to make sure that they connect, because without copper tape, this metal does not want to be it doesn't want to be handled. It needs a little copper tape. To be safe, I should have just wrapped the whole thing with copper instead of doing 2 parts, because that's way weaker than, you know. So just for you, I would recommend wrapping the whole rhinestone with copper. And then if there's excess like this, you can just trim it if you don't want it. And there's a little bit of extra copper tape, and there she is. It's done. Beautiful thing, which is laying this piece like that, and then we're going to press this one in firmly. Some Flux. I'm obsessed with this new technique, and this for some reason is like perfect. You don't need any copper tape. It just, you'll see, it just, like I did here, I didn't have to use any copper tape. It just melts and joins everything together, and it's beautiful. I'm gonna put on my mask. A blob of solder. And look at that. Done. Great. This is still, no, it's fine. Okay, we can do this. Ha ha ha. Oh my god, guys, look at this. Okay, so I'm going to add some solder right here. Let me focus. I'm going to cover this part, obviously, because, you know. I mean, look at that, guys. There's gonna be one more coming your way, but I mean, just look at this. Just look how pretty this is. I'm in a new chapter of soldering. I'm just so happy I discovered this method, because it was very difficult always to put 2 pieces together. I can only imagine what it can do to a jump ring, like that piece of foam. If we will be able to attach whatever jump ring we want. Like, the torture is over, guys. Like, look! Someone asked me in the comments, how do we get rid of Flux? And all you do, you have to wash it with soap detergent and some water, and then dry it with a paper towel. And I mean, look at this. Oh my god. So yeah, just don't be afraid to experiment. You never know. See, now we have this method, and this is, it's great. I'm going to be adding copper around this. Let's see if I have enough. I do, it's pretty thick, so I need like a wider version of copper tape. So all I'm doing right now, you guys, as per usual, I'm just wrapping the copper tape around the shape, and that's all I'm doing. Okay, so the camera is back. I taped this right here. So now we're going to solder. So heavy. Okay, so I'm going to solder. I'm gonna have my mask on. The Flux is right here, as always. Always have your mask on. I know it's not the most comfortable thing to have, but okay, let's do it. This is so pretty too. Okay, so let's add some Flux to this. Let's go ahead and set this piece with the rhinestone chain. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to press it in. Hot, it's hot. Ugh. But let me think. I don't need to press it too hard, because what's going to happen if I'm going to press it too deep, the chain that I have around me, this chain will appear to be towards the bottom of the piece, and I want it to be towards the face of the piece. So I'm going to ever so slightly press it in just to keep it in place. I'm going to figure out how much I need, and how much I need is going to be, I'll tell you right now, this is how we're gonna basically eyeball it for now, like this much. I'm going to use my scissors to cut. Okay, and now I'm going to stand, because it's actually easier for me, and I'm going to lay this piece around my shape. I might have just done it a little shorter than I need to, and then I would need to cut, or maybe not. This is good. Maybe let's get this thing out. I'm testing a new technique. What if I'm gonna get this stone out, and then with my hands I'm going to press it in. It's a little tricky, you know. The way it was this way. Okay, it fits pretty well. Okay, this is a good placement. See what I did? So I took out the piece and then pressed it. That way it's more in place. Right here, I don't like that there's a gap. I don't know if you can see, but there's a gap. You know what I'm going to do also? I'm going to see if I can maybe join them. Okay, so let's flux this whole thing. Okay, this is my painting brush, but I'm willing to sacrifice this because, I mean, this is so dainty. I don't want to ruin it, so I'm going to use Flux. I'm going to flux this. It's tricky. Okay, well, let's see if it works. Oh, interesting. Okay. See if I can clean this up. Let me see if I can clean this border up. You see how they got a touch like that? It's kind of a look. Okay, it's gonna focus. See how it looks? No, it's very like French. You know, it's gonna be a cute ring. Let me go ahead and wash it and I'll show it to you in a minute. It's actually super cute. Look, I like it. I'm gonna make a ring like that right now because it's very good. I'm actually gonna wear it. I know it's gonna be one of my favorite rings. But overall, it's not half bad. I do like it a lot. And I think that right here you can see a rhinestone. There's a gap. You know, so it had to be a little longer than I anticipated it to be, but okay, so let's set a ring right now. It's kind of like, I guess, let's make some jewelry with me vlog. I'm loving this ring, oh my gosh. So this is the rings that everyone's asking me about. This is copper base, silver plated. I have them on my Etsy. You guys been asking, so I had to create a listing. I love them myself. I always buy them because they're resizable and they don't tarnish and they don't need copper tape at all. Like some metals that we learned, some metals do, some metals don't. Like this metal didn't need copper tape. This metal doesn't need copper tape either. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some flux, some solder, and we're gonna set this thing, but I need to add some copper tape across this shape because this is porcelain, and porcelain doesn't stick to solder if it doesn't have. I just want to figure out the orientation. Let me decide and I'll be right back. Okay, so only because I never make tiny rings, be it, we're gonna do vertically. Okay, so I've placed copper tape like that so I can set my ring, and I go over the edge so for the stronger bond. I never try to cut it here because it's gonna come off easily, but that way it's gonna solidify as one big shape with the border, and you're gonna have a very strong bond. Okay, you see how I patched it basically? I needed more copper because we're gonna add more to set this ring up. Okay, now I'm going to set the ring on top of this. Okay, and we are done. Today is a good day. I'm going to go ahead and wash it, and I'll be right back. Well guys, today was a successful day. I think this is going to be one of my favorite rings ever to wear. I am obsessed how dainty and beautiful and small, because we know how I like big rings. But yeah, those are two very cute pieces I made. I hope you guys are inspired to make something beautiful. Again, all you need is this flower foam to make magic, and just don't be afraid. This was challenging, I'm not gonna lie. Like setting up the this crystal chain was a little bit challenging, but I'll figure out like a better technique, and then I'll show you. But doable, still doable. And it has this tiny little sparkle, just tiny, that adds this little elevation, and this would be a cute charm too. It could be another ring. I'm so happy. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I inspired you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Comment down below. Comment a little heart for me if you want. If you can, it helps with algorithm. Yeah, share my videos if you can, so my channel can grow, because it's been so long and it's very little still. And if it's gonna grow, I'm gonna be posting more videos because I'll be more motivated. Because right now it's I make a video and then like 5 people watch it, so not all the videos, but you know. Anyway, I hope that you had fun. Let's see each other soon again, and go make something. Go make some cool stuff. And I'll link that foam down below, and all the supplies always below. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!